the increases in future years. I think it's a good plan, and it should, hopefully help to control, excess property tax increases in the area.
This was a terrible question to go last time. It's going to sound like regurgitation to me. I mean, there's only so much we can do with taxation. So we need to pay taxes because we want the services. So yes, 1.9% is much too high. Like my competitors have acknowledged, it is only a starting point. So I do think we do need to examine this budget, and we do need to find cost savings in the budget. It's as simple as that. We need to look at where we can find efficiencies. So there may be programs that are not necessarily needed, where we can cut, where we can tender out, and we can get some competition driving and try and lower costs. But the point at the end of the day is that we need to find those cost savings, and we need to work towards at least keeping the tax increases to the amount of inflation. So we need to also ensure that services don't get cut, right? I mean, we all don't want to pay taxes, but we don't also want to lose anything. We all know the rumbling with the 2-week garbage pickup, drum with a lot of media attention because people don't want it. So we can't cut services, so we need to find ways to be efficient and make sure we spend our money properly. We also need to make sure that we may have processes that we're doing that aren't necessary. A mandatory 4-year review, I would think that through my experience, when we plan a budget, propose a budget, you do your mandatory review at that point and find that you can either save money or you can move it someplace else. So I think, like I said before, we just need to educate ourselves on what we're really doing as a council and how we're really voting on these budgets and make sure that they are the best we can do.
Any rebuttal or other comments by people on this one? No, okay, thank you.
Those are the shortest answers, you know.
That's because Bernie's threatened us with that flag.
That's what he's doing, man. Good man, good man. I think there's still time for people to submit their questions. Are there? Just something? Okay. I've got some of the questions from the floor here, which I will read. And the first one is, I would like to know, it's not from me, it's whoever wrote this. Oh, no, we're not doing questions. I know, but it's your closing remarks, so it's the same thing. Duh.
No, okay.
Duh.
No.
I would like you. Okay. I would like to know what you as a councillor will do to improve the decision-making process of council, as Greater Sudbury has one of the worst records for time spent on deliberation, and it seems to take forever to decide most issues. I will reread the question, so you get a chance to think about it as well. I would like to know what you, as a councillor, will do to improve the decision-making process of council, as Greater Sudbury has one of the worst records for time spent on deliberation, and it seems to take forever to decide most issues. There's a couple of assertions in here, I don't think should be in there, but you get the gist of the question. Okay.
Who wants to go first?
Go ahead.
Yeah, so basically, deliberation is a big issue, especially on important issues, or issues that need to be done, act swiftly and decisively on, need to be done. One of the things that I would like to see, one of the big things, council has to work together. If they don't work together, deliberation is going to take double or triple the time because everyone is just arguing and bickering with each other. I think I'm a good team leader. I work well with others. You hear my other candidates say, my platform isn't attainable. It is, and the reason it's attainable is because you have to work hard and you have to work together to achieve these goals. People say it's only one goal at council, but if you can work together as a team, you can get decisions done collectively, and that is the big thing here is get decisions done collectively. You have to work together. If you don't work together, decision making just takes way too long.
need a very specific skill set being a union representative, but I think that can be directly transferred to being a counselor. Representing a member, representing a constituent, to me is virtually the same thing. A member pays dues, a constituent pays taxes, you owe a service and you owe a responsibility to those people. So I think first of all, we need to know what our best alternative to a negotiated agreement is. Know where you stand, know what you need to get there, know what the worst possible outcome is. So, I mean, we need to go in and we need to be, fair. We need to be able to speak to each other. We need to check our egos at the door. I mean, it sounds simple, but we've got to work together, right? You're going to have to bend on some things. You may not, but you need to, at the end of the day, know that everything you do is in the best interest of our city, and you should be able to hold your head high at the end of the day.
I think both of my candidates have touched on a very important point. It's important to work together, and I think the track record of this year's council, it's obvious that hasn't happened. We need strong leadership, and I think again I can bring that leadership, proven leadership from the 20 years experience as a school board. As chair of a board, it's your responsibility to rally the troops and make sure everybody pulls in the same direction. And when you do that, you make the right decision, and sometimes a tough decision that have to be made. And I think this present council, we're afraid to make this tough decision because sometimes decisions will not be very popular. But you know what? You have to make them, and I'm ready to make them. And also, it's important that the decision we make is for the better of all Greater Sudbury. Even though I'm from Ward 3, I think it's time we start looking at the greatest, the overall Greater City of Sudbury, because what benefits in Ward 4 could be beneficial for Ward 3, and also from Ward 1 to Ward 3. So we have to look at the big picture. I think it's time to look at the big picture. Amalgamation happened 11 years ago. We're not going back there, and I think it's important that we work together again and get some results. Thank you.
Communications is everything. In my business, every single day, I'm dealing with a bank, an insurance company. You can't leave these people hanging. There's financing. It all goes on. It's every single day. You need that strong voice to get it going, because in the end, you keep hanging forever, it's not going to happen. And like I say, I guess we're throwing for votes at this. This is what I do for a living. Every single day, there's a contract that counts on this. I have been in labor negotiations. I've been in medical negotiations, insurance claim negotiations, every single day. I truly feel that there is never an issue that I cannot resolve with someone else as a single or a group. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Question number 2 from the floor. Are you in favor of Bill 8? If so, why? Bill 8 is the Public Sector and NPP Accountability and Transparency Act. Let me read it. Are you in favor of Bill 8? And if so, why? That is the Public Sector and NPP Accountability and Transparency Act.
Are you going to read this act, Jerry?
Read the right act.
I don't think you're going to hear very much opposition on this one tonight. We've all been pledging you transparency and that we want to communicate to you on exactly what's going on at City Hall. Of course, I believe in the act. I think that we are accountable to you, and we should be accountable to you. At the end of the day, you vote for us and you put us in that seat, so if we can't be accountable to the voters, why are we there? Through my work as a labor representative, I have to be transparent. I have to be accountable to the membership, and if I'm not, I get in very big trouble. And I'm proud to say I've been there for a few years, so obviously I'm doing something right. But of course, and I think that comes right back into play with the Ontario Ombudsman. We need to return the Ontario Ombudsman to Sudbury, and we need to get that free service. It's paid, well, it's not free. I mean, we do pay towards the provincial government, and the provincial government offers us that service, but we do need to return it, and we do need to have that service given to us. If we're transparent, there should be your problem.
What else next?
Yeah, so obviously, you know, accountability is a big issue, especially past term. Like Matt said, the Ontario budget needs to be returned. I don't think it's even a question. And Bill 8 needs to be brought in. We need to be, you know, accountable to the voters. But I think we need to go further. I think, you know, Bill 8's a good start, but, you know, government has to be as transparent and as accountable as it possibly can be. As I said before, I'd like to see an office of the Integrity Commissioner come in, and I'd like to see a councilor's code of conduct to ensure that the councilors are as transparent and as, you know, and accountable as possible. Basically, what the office does is it advises to council on different, you know, accountability measures, and it ensures that those councilors act accountably and transparently. And if they don't, you know, there are consequences through the office. A lot of the different municipalities started to open up these offices, and I think they are the most fundamental aspect to accountability and transparency, and Sudbury just doesn't have it. And I think that's something that should change. Hopefully that will change in October. Thank you very much.
Well, every politician would definitely support Bill 8. If you don't support Bill 8, you shouldn't be in politics to begin with. And again, with the 20 years experience I have, we had no choice as a school board to have a balanced budget, and you had to be transparent, and you had to be accountable for every decision you make. So it's definitely, it's very important. But you know, again, it comes back to leadership, it comes back to teamwork, and everybody has to pull together, everybody has to be transparent and accountable. And not only the politicians, but I think we've got to start from ground floor up, and the department managers have to be accountable and transparency, and if we do that, I think we'll probably recognize some savings in the budget also, and we'll make, we'll be, you know, we'll find efficiencies also in the budget, and we have no choice but to be accountable to our taxpayers, because they're the people putting the bill. Thank you.
Of course I support Bill 8. What can I say? In everyday business, I have to be accountable to my clients. I don't even know what it's like to not be accountable and to be allowed to continue to work or stay in business. So on that note, you know where I stand. Accountability is everything. Without it, you collapse. Thank you.
I was kind of hoping somebody would say no. So we get a real debate here and kick the person out. No.
Okay, Jerry, I'll say no.
Okay, good, thank you. We're going to take a 5-minute sanitation break, so please be back in a flush. I know, bad joke, and I can tell.
I love it.
And I have we still have a number of questions, some very important, very insightful, and some funny questions. So please come back. 5 minutes.
Read your website again. You get more traffic from me than anyone else. I'm looking for